Joining us now on the line is Ed Gillespie, the man who wants to be the Republican senator for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Ed, my first question is, can you close the gap? Do you have the momentum you need to pull this thing out?
Brian, I think that we overtook Mark Warner this weekend. I really do. And I got to tell you, I've been all around the Commonwealth. We've got a packed day today. And everywhere I go, you can feel it on the ground, the energy, the enthusiasm, the intensity. We've got great crowds. He doesn't. You've seen these poll numbers. The trend line is, universal in terms of where this race is going. And we have closed, and I honestly believe that, that by midnight last night we had overtaken him, and on Tuesday we're going to win this race. That is my gut, but it's reinforced by data.
Data? What data?
Well, there's the data that you just cited about the trend line. Then there was the Vox Pop Poll that had the race down to 4 points last week as well. And I just, there was one other poll that had the race closing to single digits, PPP, I think, and there's just no doubt about where this trend line is.
You mentioned the Vox Pop poll, and what's interesting to me, what really stuck out to me, other than the remarkable data that you're 4 points behind Mark Warner, is that Mark Warner is only grabbing 44% of the vote in that poll. Here we are, 3 days, or when this was taken, it was about 3 or 4 days before the election. What is it about Mark Warner that he can't get a clear majority since he's been the senator for 6 years?
Well, I just think the more Larry people learn about his record, voting with President Obama 97% of the time, casting a deciding vote for Obamacare, his actions relative to this federal judgeship and playing politics with a federal judgeship, all these things, the more Virginians learn, the more concerned they are about his policies, and they realize we can't afford 6 more years of the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And I've put forward a positive agenda of economic growth, my 5-point plan, and that is resonating everywhere. People know that we need to create jobs, raise take-home pay, lift people out of poverty, hold down health care costs, and reduce energy prices.
Hey, Gillespie, you mentioned this poll. You're down by 4 in that poll. That poll also shows Libertarian candidate Robert Sarvis getting 5%. Now, I'm no math major, but that 5% added to your number could actually put you in the lead in this latest poll. So I wonder if you could make a case to any Libertarian out there who is reluctant to vote for you and wants to vote for Robert Sarvis. Why should they vote for you instead?
Well, either Mark Warner or I will be the next senator from the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I respect, Robert for running, but the fact is this is a high-stakes election. And, winning in Virginia will mean a Republican Senate to keep a check on President Obama for the last 2 years of his presidency. I would encourage all those folks who are thinking about that to go to my website, edforsenate.com. You will see that I am for tax relief. I am for replacing Obamacare with market-oriented reforms that work. I am for unleashing American energy. I am for balancing the budget. And, if you believe in those things and you want to see them actually have a chance to get done and put a check on President Obama, then, I would be the right vote in that regard, because Mark Warner is the exact opposite on all those things. He wants to keep Obamacare. He's clearly not done raising taxes yet. He's voted for $1 trillion in tax increases, but if you saw the debates, it's clear he wants to raise taxes even more. And he has voted for $7 trillion in new debt, and he's not done increasing the debt yet. And so we need a change. We can't expect anything different to happen in Washington. We keep sending the same people back. If we want to change Washington, we got to change our senator. The only way you change our senator is to vote for me.
There does seem to take all the numbers and just put them aside right now for just a moment. For purposes of this next question, I want to talk about sort of the anecdotal stuff, because I sense that something is going on. We've seen it over in Maryland, where we have a Democratic candidate for governor who's just not generating any excitement whatsoever, and the Republican is generating a great deal of excitement. You talk about how where you go around the state, you feel it. You know something is going on, and when you look across and see what's happening with the other candidate, there doesn't seem to be that same kind of excitement. That's important, isn't it?
It is important. And look, Senator Warner canceled his rally tonight in Loudoun County. We've got a rally. Barbara Comstock and I are rallying with Ann Romney. We're going to have a great crowd there, like we've had a great crowd everywhere we've gone. And you can see that there's just not energy and enthusiasm on there. There is on ours. And you're right, Brian. Look, we're in a business where, and I respect the data, and, data is important, but data lags. Polling data is behind. first of all, the polls that they released were generally taken about 10 to 12 days ago. And even then, they're capturing sentiment that was, that's kind of behind the curve because of the way the electorate moves. And this electorate, and we are in Virginia, as you know, always have been, late breaking. And the voters in Virginia are breaking fast and furious right now, and they're breaking my way.
And let's just repeat what you just said, because this was a big rally tonight, the night before the election. It was going to be in Loudoun County. John Faust, Republican nominee for the 10th District, was going to be there. Senator Kane was going to be there, and so was Warner, of course. And that's now been canceled out in Sterling, where we just were a couple of weeks ago with the diner. Why wouldn't Mark Warner want to be there in Northern Virginia and get the president? I mean, that's a pretty short commute for President Obama. Doesn't Mark Warner want to go to a rally with Barack Obama right at his shoulder at Gillespie?
You would think, he just said the day before yesterday that one of the reasons that people should vote for him is so we can keep moving the country in the right direction. That's the way he sees us going right now. He thinks we're moving in the right direction as a result of the Obama-Warner policies. And I believe we can't afford 6 more years of the last 6 years. We need a new and better direction. And I put that forward. But it was a very revealing statement. And President Obama was right about one thing. His policies are on the ballot tomorrow, every single one of them. And in voting with the president 97% of the time, Mark Warner's pretty much voted for every single one of them.
And by the way, what are your plans tonight? And we know what Mark Warner won't be doing. He won't be in Northern Virginia. Where can people come out and root for Ed?
We will be in Sterling as well. And we've got a great rally. And unfortunately, my schedule is on the very phone I am.
Oh, sorry, that's all right. But that's okay. But we can we'll get there.
6:30 or 7.
But I think it's interesting that you're up here as well. I mean, do you see this area as the key to the win?
Loudoun.
Oh yeah, Loudoun is very important, and obviously, Northern Virginia, such a concentration of voters there. It's where I'm from, and the 10th district has a big congressional race with the open seat from Frank Wolf that, Barbara Comstock is going to win that race and is running a fantastic campaign and will be a great representative to follow in Frank's rather large footsteps. But, we've got a lot of energy and enthusiasm there, but it's the perfect place to finish up the night before the election.
Well, Loudoun is the bellwether.
Newport News, just so folks know, and I'll be in Roanoke and Charlottesville, and
a busy
all over
day
the places today. Yeah.
All right,
as they always say, Loudoun is the bellwether. As Loudoun goes, so goes the state.
Well,
it's big. There's no doubt about it. It has a big impact on statewide elections.
Thank you, Ed. Listen, Ed Gillespie, always good to have you, and thank you for joining us today. As by the way, Ed Gillespie, the day he launched his campaign, he was here with us next morning, and now we hear that it's been quite a journey.
It's because it's where Washington comes to talk.